My name is Maria Corazza Bildt, and I am the negotiator for the EPP of the Directive on the Firearms. We have just adopted today an important step forward with a vote, a large majority in the Internal Market and Consumer Protection Committee. It was the best possible result to ensure a right balance between security and freedom. We have increased security for the people of Europe without limiting the freedom of people that legally possess and use firearms in their free time activity, like shooters or hunters, for instance. Why was it the best possible result? Because we have increased the security part with better traceability, a common European system for marking, better cooperation between law enforcement authorities, like if a license has been denied to someone in one member state and it will be asked to the police in another member state, the police can check with a digital platform in real time why and how this license was denied in another member state. We have an internal market for firearms. That's why the rules need to be modernized at a European level. We have introduced safe storage, which is important for the legally owned firearms not to end up in criminal hands or to avoid incidents to protect children, for instance. We have now the possibility for acoustic and signal arms, where there really was a loophole, to be clearly not possible to be converted into active arms, weapons. And we have introduced a major improvement with deactivation, that the firearms that were full automatic converted into semi-automatic, like it happened for the Charlie Hebdo terrible terrorist attack, for instance. At the same time, we have really taken into account, for instance, the needs of the people living in the countryside for distance sales. They don't need to travel to a city if they want to acquire legally a firearm. We have respected the well-functioning systems that already exist in the majority of the member states, for instance, to check that the person that possesses the firearm is mentally and physically fit without imposing medical tests. So this is a very good system of respecting what happens in the member states already now, that is good, while closing the loophole that were dangerous in the member states where this was not happening. So minimum rules. And what is important now is that the member states will introduce this directive into national law in a way that respects the spirit and the letter without creating extra bureaucracy or extra requirement. On the specific issue of categories, where we have substantially changed, we have really provided legal certainty and an implementable law. So, for instance, the heavy weapon will not be allowed. It's the automatic weapon, like Kalashnikovs, while the semi-automatic firearms will be allowed. When the short one will be together with a magazine of more than 20 rounds, they will not be allowed. The long ones, when they have a magazine of more than 10 rounds, will not be allowed. Why am I being so technical? Because this is extremely important for the sport shooters and the target shooters. So the weapons that they use now are not going to be banned. If they are going to be given, like the member states can do according to the directive, a license for this category of firearms. The firearms not banned. The combination of the high magazine and the firearms will be considered, if they have the license, legal. If they don't have the proper license, illegal. And what will happen is that the police will withdraw this license. I really hope that we will continue to be able to work for improving the security of the people of Europe while really respecting their freedom. I was quite impressed in talking to many of the hunters and the sport shooters, for instance, to see what kind of ethic there is in this core and how much it's important for them, for instance, to travel, to do competitions, to train. And we have, for that reason, also improved and strengthened the European travel pass. And the last part I would like to say is that it's extremely important that our military services, with all the different ways of doing it in the member states, the reservists, the special situation we have in Finland, the need of training for our police and our military is respected. And from that point of view, we really have taken the right language and the adequate exceptions to make it possible. Now up to the member states to implement it properly. Thank you very much.